All right, welcome back. So for the second problem, you can see that the highest power of x is 2, so that is a quadratic equation. So the skill required here is firstly, you take the other numbers to the other side so that you have a quadratic inequality. So that's the first thing you have. So now you have to solve this, right? So how do we solve this? Remember, you use any method from the methods discussed in the previous problems. All right, so here I want to use factorization. So I need two numbers. When I multiply, I have -8, and when I sum, I have -2. Now what are those numbers? I have -4 and +2. So I have x -4 and x +2, both less than 0. So these are my numbers, right? -4 and +2. You can write them this way. This is a skill you should have known, following the videos from day one or following from the first video. All right, so we have this. Now when we get here, you don't say when we do for equal to and say x -4 is less than 0 or x +2 is less than 0. You don't do it this way. Okay, so what do you do from here? So what you have to do is to find the zeros. The zeros will just be each of these you equal to 0 when you equal to 0, right? Let's assume this is not less than 0, it is equal to 0. So you have x equals 4 and x equals what? And x equals, what is it called? -2. So you check for, this is what you do. You check for the interval. You check for the interval. Remember, you have to arrange the numbers uh, in ascending order. So you have -2, then you have 4. Now you have to now check the interval -infinity to -2. Then you check what is happening between -2 and 4. Then you check what is happening 4 and infinity. All right. So the next thing is you choose a point. You choose a point here in the first interval. So this point I can choose -3. Now if I choose -3 here, -3, I choose -3 to be x. Now so let me see if x -4, x +4. Let me see what is happening. So if I plug in -3, so that is -3, -4, -3, -4 actually, -3 +2. -3, -4 is what? That is -7. -3 +2 is actually -1. If I multiply this, I get +7. So I get positive. And what is positive? Greater than 0. Okay, between -2 and 4, which number can I choose? Let me choose 0. Now 0, -4, right? 0, -4, I pick 0. Now 0, -4 will give me -4. 0 +2 will give me +2. -4 multiplied by negative -4 multiplied by +2 will give me -8, which is what? Less than 0. Now this interval, if I should choose 5, 5 -4 is 1. 5 -4 is 1. And 5 +2 is 3. So I will get 3, which is positive, which is greater than 0. So this is only the part where it is less than 0. So that shows my interval notation. The solution will be -2 and 4, with -2 and 4 not inclusive. We already know that at -2 and 4, it will be a 0. We know here that will be a 0. When you plug in -2 and 4, the equation becomes 0. But the equation is only less than 0. We don't need equal to 0. So to actually check for our solution, we have to do it this way. And we can see that the solution is between -2 and 4. So if you plug in any number between -2 and 4, we will have x squared to be less than 2x plus 8. So let's say we plug in 3. 3 squared is 9. 3 times 2 is 6, 6 plus 8 is 14, and we can see that 9 is less than 14. So yeah, this is our solution, and I hope you understand this aspect. I know we've done a lot, but this is the right approach actually. Because you got to this point, because you got to this point, and you know that you will have this, doesn't mean you will just say it is between. So this is 4, this is -2, so it will be between -2 and 4. This is actually the right approach. You draw a table, you check what is happening before -2, you check what is happening between your zeros, that is -2 and 4, then you check what is happening after 4, then you can choose your answer. So let us move to the next problem. So we will use this approach that I mentioned in the next problem, which is C. We can see how it is written. We cannot just say x is greater than 0 and x minus 1 is greater than 0 and x plus 2 is greater than 0. No, all the three must not, doesn't mean all the three must be greater than 0 before our expression can be greater than 0. That's just the implication. X can be less than 0 and x minus 1 can be less than 0. If you multiply negative and negative, you get positive. So it doesn't mean that all of them have to be greater than 0. So that is the essence of the table. So let us go to the next problem and you will understand what I'm trying to say. See you in the next video.